Hello and welcome to part one of the Build Your Own Website training series presented by Community Futures Chinook, serving the Tabor and Brooks region, as well as Community Futures Entrecorp, serving the Medicine Hat area. I'm thrilled that you've taken some time out of your day to join us for these sessions. Today in part one, we'll dive into the planning process and find foundational steps of building your website. Then next Tuesday, put it on your calendar, and if you haven't already registered, on April 1st is part two, where we will hit the ground running with a live demonstration on how to start building your website. So let's get started. For those of you who may not know who I am, my name is Grace Evans. I'm deeply passionate about digital marketing and small businesses that serve as the foundation of our vibrant communities. Over the past 3 years, I've had the privilege of helping businesses, especially those with limited marketing budgets, take meaningful steps towards establishing their own online presence. By guiding them through the processes of building websites and developing a strong digital identity, I empower business owners and businesses themselves to take control of their online visibility and growth. I'm excited to be here with all of you today, and I look forward to sharing the valuable insight that will help you navigate this journey of creating your very own website with confidence and with the skills you need to press forward on your digital marketing journey. I know for a lot of small businesses, it's really daunting, and I don't know how many people tell me, I'm just not good with computers. I know I need a website. I know I need to be online, but I just can't do it. So I'm here to take away some of those barriers and some of that stress and help you move forward with confidence. So please hold all your questions until the end or drop them in the Q&A section of the chat as we go. I'll do my best to answer all of them at the end. These sessions are being recorded and will be available post-event on our YouTube channel, as well as all these lovely slide decks that I'm going to be going through today. I will provide in a post-event email. So be watching for that after the event in case you miss anything. I really encourage you to be present and ask questions and participate in the chat throughout the session. I also ask that you please stay muted the entire presentation, just so it doesn't throw me off guard or get me distracted. And I just want to start this session today by saying that please keep in mind that there are many, many different ways to build a website, ranging from highly complex to more beginner-friendly approaches. Today I'm demonstrating a straightforward, accessible method designed to make the process as simple as possible for beginners and small business owners. Throughout the last 3 years, I've worked hands-on with small businesses, and I know for them, it's really daunting and really stressful making the next step into going online. So I want to make this process as simple and easy as possible. So this is kind of the Cliff Notes version of what could be really complex. And this is just my way, my strategy that I've developed. There's many, many other ways to go about building a website. But this is just where I start and how I get there. So please keep that in mind as we go through the presentation. It's time to begin your website building journey. In this first session, we'll focus on laying a strong foundation for your website, giving you the essential knowledge and tools you'll need to start with confidence. We'll explore key website components, discuss the best practices for structuring your site, and set the stage for a successful website build. By the end of today's session, you'll be well prepared to take the next steps towards bringing your website to life. So we'll dive in and get started. This is the foundation for the live demonstration and things we'll get into part two. So once again, I'm going to take this time to encourage you that if you haven't already, register for part two, because there will be more coming if you feel like you haven't got everything today. So the structure of today's presentation is introduction to website building, choosing the right platform, planning your website, domain and hosting setup, website design basics, and setting up essential pages. So right off the bat, we're starting with introduction to website building. So in today's digital world, as I mentioned, it's no longer an option to have a website. Building a website is no longer an option, it's a necessity. Whether you're creating a site for a personal project, a blog, a business, an online portfolio, having a well-structured website helps establish credibility and makes it easier for people to find and connect with you. I always say when I've worked with clients in the past, website equals credibility. So maybe it's not right off the bat you put up a website online and you get 1,000 views or 1,000 people coming through your door, but it really is that professional credibility that a website gives a business. As a person, when I'm looking for a store or a business online, I like to go and see if they have a website, because to me, that gives it a legit feel. It's that professional credibility that you get from having a website. It's somewhere your Facebook points to, it's somewhere your Google points to, and it really gives you that edge up above businesses that don't have a website. So whether you're creating a website for, like I said, portfolio, having a it's that credibility point that I really want to stress. A strong online presence can open new opportunities, build trust with your audience, and give you greater control over your brand and your message. So the more you have control of that, you create and build off that for your relationship with your clientele. So throughout this training, we'll explore these key steps to creating a website, and that both affect you yourself as the website builder, as well as your clientele as well. So a website that is both effective and user-friendly on your end. So next, I'm going to start off right on the bat is choosing the right platform. So when it comes to building a website, there are many platforms to choose from, each offering unique features tailored to the different needs of your business. So some platforms prioritize ease of use, making them ideal for beginners, while others offer more advanced customization options for design, for those of you who want more control over the design and functionality of things. Often these are hard-coded websites. So many also include built-in apps, e-commerce support, and essential SEO, search engine optimization, and marketing tools that will help you reach a wider audience in the final stages of your website building journey. So understanding these key features will help you choose the right platform for your goal and ensure the website is both effective and user-friendly. Additionally, certain industries have specialized website platforms designed specifically for their needs. So the example I like to use for this is photographers. Photographers, obviously, they have a specific need for what they use their website for. So showcasing portfolios, selling prints, and delivering client galleries. So some basic website platforms might not meet those specific needs that, say, a photographer has. But I often see a lot of the photography clients I've worked with over the years use a specific platform called PickTime. So these industry-specific platforms come with features that cater to your niche requirements, so making them a great option for professionals who need specialized tools right out the box. So choosing the right platform depends on your goals, industries, and level of customization and functionality you need. So it's really about picking what you want from your website, deciding what your website is going to be. Do you want to sell? Do you want an e-commerce website? Do you want your website to be so bare bones, strictly informational, with just the essential information on it? So you really want to pick that goal, and then when you're researching your platforms, keep that goal in mind, because obviously different platforms have different strengths, different ideals. I know often for e-commerce businesses, Shopify is the big one for that, because of they're an e-commerce mega mega business. Like, they are the go-to for an e-commerce business, where other platforms offer different functionality and different strong suits. So it's important to do your research and find a platform that really suits the needs of your specific business. Going from that, we're going into my platforms of choice. So these two platforms are typically the ones I suggest to small businesses. So when it comes to website building platforms, my top choices are Wix and Squarespace, each offering unique strengths. Wix is an incredibly flexible platform known for its ease of use and drag and drop functionality. I always say if you can type in a Word document, you can type in a Wix website. So it's kind of very straightforward, very user friendly. This makes it an excellent choice for beginners and anyone who wants full creative control without needing to write code. So it also offers a wide range of templates, apps, and customization options to help you tailor your site to your needs. Wix does have e-commerce capabilities. It does have booking software. It does have event calendars. You can make a Wix website as grand as you want or as pulled back and simple as you want. And there's also pricing plans that are very affordable and flexible for businesses with smaller budgets. So on the other hand, Squarespace is a premium website builder that focuses on high quality design and visual appeal. It is especially popular among creatives and small business owners because of its beautifully designed templates and built-in tools for branding, marketing, and e-commerce. I find it's another really good entry-level website for small business owners. It's a little bit more high-end than Wix, um, but it is an excellent entry-level website builder for beginners. So these are my two kind of go-tos depending on what a business's budget is, what their involvement they want with their website. These are the two platforms I suggest. So if you are in those beginning stages of website development, definitely look into either of these platforms. So, my next thing is the one of the most common questions I get when starting a website is what will it cost? The answer varies depending on factors like the platform you choose, the features you need, and whether you need to hire a professional to build it or if you build it yourself. Obviously, there's costs that are going to be saved by you taking the steps to build it yourself, just like all of you are here today to learn to take those steps to build it on your own. So that would mitigate a little bit of a cost there. Website costs can range from completely free, using basic plans with very limited features, to monthly or annual fees for premium plans that offer more customization, e-commerce capabilities, and marketing tools. Additional expenses may include domain registration, hosting, professional design services, and premium apps or plugins. So just a quick brief on what your domain name is. It's www.yourbusiness.ca. So you will have to purchase a domain. A lot of times when you purchase a premium plan, they do include like the first year free on a domain registration. So again, when you're shopping for that hosting plan, that if that's something you're interested in, look for that when you're shopping for a hosting plan. Also look for how much your domain's going to cost. Lots of website builders have domain registries built right in. So your hosting, again, that's your Wix, your Squarespace, your Shopify, your WordPress, GoDaddy, whatever one you go with. That is your hosting cost. And lastly, premium apps and plugins. So if you want e-commerce, if you want booking software, if you want an event calendar attached to your website where people can register and pay for your events, these apps cost money. So there are additional plugins that will add cost to your plans. So it's another thing to just keep in mind when you're starting off with a business. Another thing I like to mention when it comes to cost is Google Workspace. So this is your custom email address. So a lot of times when businesses are registering for a website, getting a domain, taking those first steps, they want the custom email address. So they want info@yourbusiness.com. Well, that costs money to have that custom email address attached to your domain. So it's just another cost that I like to point out to keep in mind when you're shopping for plans. when you're creating a budget of how much you'd like to allocate to a website. If that's something you like, that's something you're going to have to kind of shell out and research in the beginning, because Google Workspace is an additional cost, but it is a cost that lots of businesses they like to have. They like to have that custom domained email. So ultimately, the cost of your website really depends on your goals and the level of investment you're comfortable with. So today we'll explore the different features so you can make a more informed decision that fits your budget when creating a website and taking those next steps on your website journey. Planning your website. So before you jump into a website builder and start building your website, there's a lot of legwork that a lot of small businesses don't do. And then I find they get into a website builder like Wix or Squarespace, and they ultimately confuse themselves. So I always say before jumping in, there's planning that needs to be done. So before jumping into building your website, proper planning is essential. This phase ensures your site is not only visually appealing, but also functional and aligned with your goals. So let's break it down into steps. So first step is define your goal. Like any business plan, anything you do, it's better done if you have a goal. What is the main objective of your website? So what do you want to achieve from your website? Are you trying to promote your business, sell a product, showcase your portfolio, or just simply provide information? Having a clear purpose will really help guide the design and content decisions you make further down. So do you want it to be bare bones, informational? This is where you can find us. This is how you can get a hold of us. Or do you want a more involved e-commerce website where people are actually able to buy your product? Definitely outlining this goal in the beginning will help with the building process as you go. So next is identify your audience. So who are you targeting? Understanding your ideal visitor will shape your website design, messaging, functionality. Think about their needs, preferences, and how they'll interact with your site. So if you maybe identify your client in a specific spectrum where you feel like one long page scroller is going to be better than a website with multiple pages, because you feel like that suits the needs of your audience better. Those are things you can roll out and decide early on in the planning process. And then that kind of leads into our next step, which would be creating a site map. So outline the key pages and their hierarchy. So what's the most important thing for your site? A site map is simply an outline of your website structure. It helps you organize your pages logically and really determine how they connect. So common pages include your home page, your about page, services and product pages, and of course a call to action or contact page where people can get a hold of you. So those are really common pages. So I always kind of encourage clients to figure those ones out. And then if you have an idea for a more specialized page, that's stuff that can be added after. So remember, this is just the start of your website and it can evolve over time. So often we really get hung up on having it perfect the first time, but websites are incredibly versatile and you can add and change things that will be live within seconds. So your website can evolve. Your brand can evolve over time. If you're just starting and you're just getting a website, it's awesome to just start, get the basics out there, get something really nice and clean, developed and made, and know that there is room to evolve over time. So next is planning your content. So plan your content because your content is the heart of your website. So determine what text you want, what tone of text you want, images and media you'll need for each page, news articles about your business, success stories about your businesses that you want to link to your website. Having your content planned out in advance makes building process so much smoother. Instead of scrambling and trying to figure out what you want to showcase on your website as you build it, Accumulating a bank of content will make your life so much easier. And lastly is design a wireframe. So a wireframe is a basic layout sketch of your website. It maps out all the elements like navigation menus, images, text that will go in. Wireframes really help you visualize your site and structure before diving right in. One thing I find really helpful with this step is going on the internet and finding websites you like. Go and find a website that you are like, I like this website. I want to emulate this in my business. I like the way their homepage is structured. I like the big glossy photo at the top, and I like the way it scrolls. Go and do your research. Find websites you like, copy and paste their URLs into your planning document and use those to refer back. So even if you're designing yourself, getting someone else to design, whatever it might be, having an idea of what you really like when it comes to a website is a good place to start. So as well as taking notes of websites you like will help. So by carefully planning each of these elements, you'll set yourself up for a much smoother website building experience. The more thought you put into this stage, the easier the actual creation process will be. So the more you plan, the easier the execution will be. And next, we're going into my personal website checklist. So before I have ever made a website for a business, before I have ever helped a business with the website building process, I go through this checklist. So when building your website, it's important to include key content that helps your visitors understand who you are, what you offer, and how they can connect with you. So I just want to go over this checklist. And again, as I mentioned in the beginning, the slide deck will be provided. So you'll be provided this checklist at the end if it's something you want to take away with you at the end of today's presentation. So first is your About Us or Our Story portion. So this section tells visitors why you do what you do. Share your mission, share your values. Maybe you actually have mission and value statements that you want to share. Share your story. People like people. So people love to connect with brands on a personal level. So make this section about you and about your why. And the more engaging it is, the more authentic, the more people will connect with this portion of your website. And like I said, people like to connect with brands and businesses on a personal level. So next is your product/services page. So clearly outline what you offer, whether it's product, services, or digital content. This section should be detailed and easy to navigate and highlight the value you provide to your customers. So your products and services are what you do. Your About Us page is your why statement. So everyone kind of in the beginning knows what you do, and that's why I really stress the About Us page being the why. What you do is you're a hairdresser. Why you do it is completely different. So really differentiating those pages is important, and I find sometimes businesses muddle those ones up a little bit. So what you do is your product or service. Why you do it is your About Us or your story. Next is your contact information. So making it easy for people to reach you, include social media links, an email address, phone number, and even a mailing address if applicable. I know some businesses are home-based or whatever, so maybe including an address or a mailing address isn't applicable to you, and that's fine. A contact form is also a great option to direct inquiries. Ultimately, like I've mentioned in the past, this is your call to action. So how are people going to get a hold of you when they decide they want to make action on your website? So contact form, I include it on every single website. So some sort of interactive form where someone can send you a inquiry or a short message directly from your website, I think always should be included. Next is the frequently asked questions. I include this because I find it's a sneaky way to include information about your business. that's not just adding huge blocks of text. So frequently asked questions, you can maybe put in questions that you get asked, obviously frequently, but also maybe just information you want your clients to know, but change it into a question answer so it's not serving as just big blocks of filler text on your website. So this comes with anticipating common questions your audience might have. This could include details about your pricing, services, policies, or anything else often people ask. And a well thought out FAQ section really saves time and enhances your user experience on your website. So that is why it's kind of a essential page when I'm building a website. Lastly is your visuals, photos, logo, and graphic content. So high quality images and branding elements help make your website visually appealing and professional. So use a strong logo, high resolution photos, and any other graphics that support your brand identity. So I always encourage using your own original photos over stock photos anytime you can. People will connect better with a business that has a face to it, has a personality to it, and the best way to do that is through your own original photos. So as much as you can, I know it's not always possible to have a huge bank of photos, or you're maybe in an industry like psychology or something like that, where it's not as easy to get photos of you doing what you do. So that's where the stock photos come in. But whenever you can use original photography, original graphics, please do. That would be my best tip when creating a website. So including these elements will help you build trust with your audience and provide a seamless experience for your visitors exploring your site. My next is just a little tidbit and tip just from experience, and this is self-experience as well as experience working with small businesses is file management is crucial. Is a crucial step when building a website. So staying organized from the beginning will save you so much time and frustration later. As you work through your website checklist, I recommend creating a dedicated folder on your computer or external hard drive to store everything you need for your site. Here's what I would include in this file. Logo and branding materials. So this is everything from all versions of your logo, your primary, your secondary, your icons, black and white versions, color versions, accumulating all of those. Brand colors, codes, and fonts so you can stay consistent across the whole site. Having those all in one place to ensure consistency throughout the whole website. Next, visuals. Collect all high quality photos, stock images, or graphics that you plan to use. Clear and professional images, like I said, they enhance your website. Having them all in one place, easy to grab, is going to save you so much time rather than that scramble to look through every different little file on your computer. If you go through and pick 20 photos that you love and would use on your website, put them in that file, have them really easy to use, have them in a place you know where they're at. And next is, instead of writing all your content directly into the website, consolidate all that information and put it into a Word document. Everything from your About Us page, your product descriptions, your FAQs, and any other text. This makes it easier to edit, refine, and create copy for your website inside your document. Have people, have family read over it before you put it onto your website. So by organizing your files ahead of time, you'll make the website building process so much smoother and more efficient. Plus, having everything in one place ensures you won't lose important assets and waste time searching for them later. And this file can serve for many other social media projects, marketing projects, print projects in the future. So kind of having a marketing file or a website file is always great to have. Next, we're getting into domain name and hosting setup. I've briefly mentioned this already, but before your website can go live, you need to have two important things, and that is your domain name and website hosting. So this kind of goes back to the choosing the right platform. So before your website can go live, you need these two important things. So a domain name is your website address on the internet, for example, yourbusiness.com. This is how people will find you online, so it should be short, easy to remember and relevant to your brand. I often suggest .com or .ca, nothing with numbers, nothing with hyphens, just something easy, relevant to your business, and easy to remember. Website hosting is where your website files are stored. I like to think of this as renting space on the internet for your site to exist. So think of your Wix is your landlord and you're a tenant. So choosing a good hosting provider ensures your website runs smoothly and loads quickly. So within the research process, when you're looking for the right platform, right website host, keep these things in mind. So as I mentioned before, my few simple tips for picking a great domain name are keep it short, simple, and easy to spell. Spell it right when you register it. I've made that mistake. Choose a domain extension that fits your brand, like .com or .ca, and avoid hyphens numbers as they can be harder to remember for clients. So once you have a domain and hosting set up, you're ready to start building your website. If you have a domain name that you're thinking of and you want to know if it's available, I just wanted to point out the resource called Whosis, which is a resource you can use to look up and trace the ownership of domains. So this allows you to see who that domain name is registered to, if it's available. So within the process of choosing a domain name and doing some research, often I'll type them into Who's This and see if they're available, and then go and purchase them later on once that website is ready to go live. My next tip when it comes to domain names is often with small business owners. They know they need a domain, they know they need a URL, so they'll go and hop on a register like GoDaddy and they'll buy that www.yourbusiness.com. But they have no idea how to build a website. So they own the domain name, but they have no idea how to build a website. So then when they go to Wix or Squarespace, I often get asked, well, I own a domain. Do I have to get a new one? Or can I use this one I already own? So the answer is quick. If you already own a domain from another platform, you do not need to buy a new one. Most platforms allow you to transfer it to a new website builder from the GoDaddy or wherever you've registered it from. This allows you to keep your existing web address while managing everything in one place. So here's how the process works for most website builders. So most website builders often offer a domain transfer option. You'll need to check the transfer requirements from both your current domain provider and your new website platform. So whether that's GoDaddy to Wix, GoDaddy to Squarespace, Squarespace to Wix, look at what those requirements are. The process may take a few days, so plan ahead to avoid downtime on your website. So sometimes it can take up to 72 hours or more to transfer a domain, so just keep that in mind. So transferring your domain is a great way to maintain your online presence without having to start all over again. Just be sure to follow the steps carefully to ensure that the transition is smooth and that you keep an eye on things. So make sure it is live. Make sure you're checking that your website is live, because if you've done a transfer, sometimes stuff does happen. It's the internet. And things don't go as smoothly as we plan. So check in that the transfer has happened instead of transferring it and forgetting about it and then coming back months later to a downed website. Next, we'll be talking about the essential pages. This kind of goes back to my website checklist, but again, by now we've talked about planning your website, creating a sitemap, and organizing your content. You might notice some repetition, and that's intentional because the reason we keep coming back to these key elements is that they are they are a form of the foundational structure we need to build an excellent website. So when building your website, you'll want to focus on essential pages first, including your homepage. This is your first impression. So I always spend way more time on my homepage than I do any other page. It's the first page people see when they land on your website. It's your first impression. So make it good. Next is your About Us page. Tell your stories, tell them why you do what you do and who you are. Like I said, your about is your why. Contact, like I said, I call this the call to action. So it provides a way for people to reach you, whether that's a form, email, or social media. It's that way for a client with questions or someone trying to make the next steps in the purchasing process to get a hold of you. Next is the service or product pages. So this is the what you do. It showcases what you offer, how it benefits your audience. Once these core pages are in place, you can consider adding additional pages to add to your website. Some of the additional pages I often add to websites are, as I mentioned, FAQ pages, answer common questions and save time on inquiries. A blog is a great way to share updates, expertise, and helpful content. It is also a great way to slide in some keywords to help with SEO, which we haven't touched on yet, but make sure to keep that in mind as we go along in this process. E-commerce shop, if you're selling products, this is where customers can browse and buy. Like I said, this is often an additional app or plugin onto a website. Photo galleries, this goes for perfect for showing visual work, whether you're a photographer, an artist, a designer, a business with a strong visual element. It might be a great way to showcase that on a photo gallery on your website. Revisiting these pages throughout the planning process helps ensure that your website is both effective and user-friendly. By keeping these things organized and intentional, you'll create a site that serves your audience and meets your goals. So your website is your own unique piece of content or tool, right? So you whatever you create, make sure it's unique and reflects the needs and goals of what you've outlined for your business. So lastly, we're getting into the final part of my presentation today. And before our next session on April 1st, I have some homework for you. Hopefully fun homework, because I think website building and marketing is fun. So to get you ready and prepared for our next session on April 1st on website building process, here's what you need to do or consider doing before next week. So choose your platform and create an account. So decide which website builder you want to use and set up an account so you'll be ready to start building. So whether it's Wix, Squarespace, GoDaddy, whatever you choose that best suits your business, try and make the next steps to creating an account and signing up and even doing a trial with any of those website builders to see what best fits your business. Look at pricing plans. Every platform has a different pricing option. Review them and pick one that fits your budget and your needs as a business. So set a goal for your website. Think about the purpose of your website. Is it to inform? Are you selling, showcasing a portfolio, or something else? Have a clear goal with a guide for your design and content choices in the future. Lastly, go through my website checklist. Start collecting everything you'll need, such as your logo, branding material, photos, written content. Keep everything organized, and it will save you time later and help you make those next steps in building your website. So our next session is on April 1st. I hope to see you all there, where we'll hit the ground running with a live demonstration of building a website. The more prepared you are, the easier it will be to follow along and start bringing your website to life. Thank you so much for joining me today's presentation. Our next session will be on April 1st at 12:30, where we'll dive into the Wix platform is what I'll be using. No pressure for any of you to sign up for Wix, but that's just what I'll be demonstrating on. I'll walk through the beginning steps of building a website, showcasing tools and features within Wix to get you started. We'll focus on how to set up your website, customize it, and explore the platform's functionality. And I look forward to seeing each and every one of you there and helping you take your first steps in having a website of your own.